Okay, this video is do turmeric, oregano, thyme, and ginger make you stupid? And here's where it comes from. It comes from that somebody told me that turmeric often has lead in it. And so I looked it up. It's a good book, this book right here, Food Forensics by Mike Adams. He had a lab for testing contaminants in food. And these are some lines from his book. He says that turmeric is pretty commonly, you can expect it to be contaminated with lead if it's from India. He says in his lab, it's rare to find turmeric raw material that isn't significantly contaminated with lead. He does say that lead can be reduced a little bit by a person eating fresh garlic, and there's a chelator DMSA. I don't have any experience with those things, but that's what he says. Lead is very common in lipstick, like lead paint. Super high amounts in some calcium supplements, high amounts in some chlorella, some relatively high amounts in cilantro, because people often sort of tease me, how come I don't ever cook with spices? And the reason is because I'm always in a hurry and I'm too lazy. And also for this reason, because there's potentially, it takes a lot of effort to make sure you know that whatever spice you're using is not contaminated with stuff. Here's a Consumer Reports article from November 2021. And they tested a whole bunch of spices and found it was pretty common. About a third of them had significant contaminations with heavy metals, things like lead, cadmium, arsenic. Okay, so here is the turmeric from Consumer Reports. About half of them they felt were too high in lead. And then here's a paper from PubMed talking about ground turmeric as a source of lead exposure in the United States found in grocery stores. There had been some case reports of children with significant lead poisoning, and it was thought to be primarily from these spices. So then they started testing these spices in more detail. And again, they mentioned that it's commonly adulterated with lead chromate, which is a vibrant yellow to look like the turmeric. And that, excessive concentrations of lead were seen in grocery stores, etc., when it was tested. In just past several years, 13 brands of lead-containing turmeric were recalled. And the paper goes on and on with all these episodes of turmeric being contaminated with lead, so it's more common than one would think. Oh, here's some more illustrations from the Consumer Reports paper I just mentioned earlier, November 2021. Ginger was routinely contaminated with heavy metals. Same thing with oregano. Every sample they tested, same thing with thyme. So you got to be pretty careful with whatever spices you're using and check them out to the extent you can to figure out if they're likely to be contaminated with anything. So anyways, I hope that was helpful.